Now then, so welcome everyone and thank you for joining us this morning. We're going to talk about how to expand your projects with 2N and with ProVu. So you join me, Gavin Sykes of ProVu, and you will have heard Matt Raban just then as well of 2N. We're going to talk this morning about how 2N's products are so much more than just an intercom, and about how ProVu are so much more than just a supplier. We're going to talk about 2N's whole solution offering and ProVu's related services, both of which will really add value to your own offering to your customers. Some of you will have just used this feature. If at any point you have any questions to send to us, please feel free. There should be a chat window by the right-hand side. We'll see those questions come through, and there will be a short Q&A session at the end. So we can take those questions in, we'll answer them. Feel free to mention any questions you have at the end. So here's the agenda for today. We're going to have a quick overview of the intercoms, most of which a lot of you have already had from us, the answering units that they offer, the offerings that ProVu do surrounding all these units, 2N's mobile video service, and finally the management software as well, Access Commander. So first of all, the one we see here is 2N's IP Verso, very much the flagship unit and the most versatile, hence the name Verso. You can see all the different configurations on the left-hand side here, all different modules. We can see additional buttons, keypad, RFID readers, pretty much anything you can think of, it will go on a Verso. It's available in 2 colors, as we can see here. It can be surface or flush mounted. Just bear with me a second. I think we're getting a bit of additional sound.
It's Gav, if you want to mute everybody other than you, it might be a good idea.
Yeah, I will do. Very well, I think that's done now. Apologies for that. So where was I? Yes, the Verso is available in 2 colors, as we can see. It can be flush or surface mounted, which means either sunk into the wall or placed onto the wall. And all of these units, not just the Verso, can be powered by a single PoE network cable. This makes installation much easier, as you only need to run 1 cable to power and connect the units. It's available with or without camera, and all these different configurations that you see here, it makes it very much a build it yourself solution, so you can determine the modules that you need, and this makes it ideal for any offices, multi-tenant buildings, apartment blocks, and then you decide what that building needs. Does it need RFID, a keypad, extra buttons? It can have any combination of modules. We actually have the unit on the left on our front door at ProVu. We see a combined Bluetooth and RFID unit, the touchscreen as well, which you can customize the call buttons on. So we've got office deliveries and now one for our sister company Elliott that shares the building with us. Onto a slightly smaller unit, the Solo, which is designed to look just like the Verso, which is why it is just as good looking. As we see, it's also available in 2 colors, can also be flush and surface mounted. And this one is for if you want something that is single button, with or without camera and nothing else. So this is ideal for single tenancy units, say small offices, businesses, and even your house as well. It's ideal for linking into home automation. Moving on to one of the more robust units now, this IP Force is the ideal unit for tougher situations. It's IP69 and IK10 rated, and what they mean, the IP69 rating means it can stand up to just about any weather that you can throw at it. It means it's completely dust proof and completely waterproof. And the IK10 rating is the highest anti-vandal rating that anything can have. They even have videos on their YouTube channel, the 2N, of this being run over by a tank, attacked with a baseball bat, and all sorts of other things. So this unit really can stand up to anything. Particular of interest in these times, in COVID times, the IP rating means that this can be jet washed at 80 degrees Celsius, which for our American friend in attendance is 176 Fahrenheit. Hot enough basically to kill any nasties that might have been left on there. We see a number of different configurations as well. We see single button with camera, 4 buttons. This makes it ideal as well for a number of situations, just like all the other units. This is probably best suited for vehicle gates, manufacturing floors, anything where you need something tough to either make calls through to a security office or make announcements. Those of us with a bit more of a keen eye as well, and fans of the Fast and Furious franchise, might recognise this as the unit of choice for keeping Jason Statham locked up. Moving on to their more cost-effective unit now, the IP base. This is ideal for single home setups. Again, it can integrate into home automation systems, and it can be configured to either 1 or 2 buttons. So you only need to order 1 unit and you will get the unit with 2 buttons and a bigger button in the box. So if you order it with 1 button and your situation changes in a year's time, there's no need to then order a new unit. You can also add an RFID reader as well. So this makes it, again, ideal for Soho environments, small office, home office, particularly homes with a separate office, which for some reason do seem to have been springing up a lot last year. I'm sure a lot of you might actually find yourselves in that spare bedroom right now. So a quick look at the answering units now, and this is where 2N have really taken it to the next level. These have been designed by engineers for engineers. So they've been designed with ease of installation and configuration in mind. Like the intercoms, you can power these all with just 1 PoE cable. So that's 1 cable for power and network. And despite not really being on sale for very long, they've already won awards for their designs by architects. These can be remotely configured via their My2N platform. Same as the intercoms, everything can be remotely configured with 2N. So this saves your engineers time and, especially in today's environment, unnecessary travel. You don't want to be traveling from your office to your customer's site to set something up when it can be done remotely, even from their home. These are designed to last, which means that they're made from the very highest quality materials. We see tempered glass on the front of each of the units here. And we've got the indoor talk is their audio only unit. So if you have an audio only intercom, this would be the ideal unit for just taking calls. And we see a nice big button here for unlocking the door. These buttons really are very intuitive and you can't really go wrong. The indoor compact features a 4.3-inch video screen with a few more controls, and we see the nice big buttons here at the bottom as well. Take the call, unlock the door, end the call. The indoor view is the newest one, and all of these 3 sync flush into the wall, so they do look very good in any situation. The indoor view is a 7-inch touchscreen, and this has 2N's proprietary OS on it, meaning it's lightning fast and your users simply won't face delays with answering calls. The indoor touch is the very, very top end unit. This is powered by Android, which actually brings you the benefit then of downloading Android apps onto it and controlling your home automation systems, your heating, your lights, anything with an Android app can be controlled via this unit. And you might be looking at these thinking, I like them, but I do have some projects coming up where I think these would fit even better if they were in white. So how do these look? Both of these units, all of these units, sorry, are available in black and white, and they can come with units for desk mounting as well. So you could have these, say, on a receptionist desk for answering calls from your main front door. The last unit on offer, really more of an app than a unit, is the 2N mobile video. So this allows you to take your calls from wherever you are in the world. You get the video calls from the intercom straight through to your smartphone. And quite importantly as well, you can preview the video feed before answering the call. Obviously, one big advertising point of these sorts of systems is give the impression of being in even when you're not in. However, depending on who's at the door, you might want to do the opposite. You can as well open the door even if you're not home. So we see in the picture here, this person's taking a call from a delivery driver. So they might want to let the delivery driver in so he can leave the package there and he doesn't have to leave a card, try again tomorrow and then miss them again. If you do miss a call, then you get the logs as well with snapshots of who was there, so you know who has tried visiting at any point. And it's all hosted on Amazon's web services, which means it is very reliable and you are very, very unlikely to ever miss a call. And like most apps these days, you can get it on Android and iPhones. So what do ProVu do to improve your offering on 2N's products? Well, first of all, before any project begins, our first step is consultation. Make contact with us and our trained experts will make sure that you're quoting for the right equipment every time, saving you time, worry, hassle, having to work out what you need for your customer. Then once we've done the consultation, we can then pre-commission the units. We set them up to work on your platform. We can carry out test calls to make sure the equipment works as expected. And we can also make sure that that everything works as it should. So we can even test video phones that you might have on the other end to make sure the calls come through. Then once we've done this, how are you going to install the units? You might have your own engineers who can do that. However, if you don't, if you're coming from a purely telecoms world where you order provisioned phones straight to your customers, you might want to take advantage of our white labeled installation services. These are all carried out by an accredited 2N installer. And you can use this, as I say, alongside the pre-commissioning service without ever having to touch the equipment. You order it from us and it goes straight onto your customer's building. This saves, again, your engineers, this saves time. They don't have to travel to make the installations. They can just sit back and not worry about anything. After the units are installed, you might want to take advantage then of our remote support and any troubleshooting. Our engineers have years of experience with 2N equipment. They know all the right questions to ask. And again, this can all be done remotely, so we can just log into the units remotely, try and work out what's going on, and fix it there and then for you. So once you have everything installed and set up, how do you then manage your installation? How do you add more staff members or remove ones who leave? How do you make access rule changes in line with company policy changes? Maybe the company was open between 9 and 5 and now it's open between 10 and 4. This is where you need Access Commander. This allows you to easily configure large installations because there's no need to configure each individual intercom or access unit. Access Commander does all the legwork. And this can be done again, either on site or remotely. So your installation and maintenance engineers save time and your company saves diesel, van upkeep, insurance, and hotel stays. You can easily manage multiple tenant buildings as well. So say you have a larger office block with, say, 5 companies in there, Access Commander can manage the whole building and allow certain people into certain areas at certain times. So employees of each company can only go into their offices, whereas security staff might need access to the whole building. There's a visitor management module as well, so that security can keep track of everyone who comes in, rather than just staff members. And you can access a demo of this software at any time, day or night. The URL is here, acdemo.2n.cz. So before committing to buying the software, you can really have a little play with it and see what it can do. So thank you for joining us. We're just going to run a quick Q&A session now. I'll just unmute Matt if he hasn't already, so we can both answer any questions that you might send through. We also have our email addresses here. You can contact us both directly. Let me just unmute Matt. So if anyone does have any questions, please send them in and we will take a look at them and answer them for you.
Another thing that we tend to do at 2N as well is some of the products that you've seen there today, we do offer on a demo basis, which is on NFR pricing. So it gives you a chance to trial our products before you offer them out to your customers. A lot of customers of mine tend to use that on their offices, like ProVu have as well, just to showcase what's actually possible and whatnot. And most people that have come to do that, what we've also done, as well as supplying an intercom or an access unit on NFR, we've actually helped them out with licenses. So if anybody would like to do that, please let us know. Thanks, Gavin, for the presentation today. I thought it was very clear and concise. So yeah, just open for questions, chaps.
Absolutely, thank you, Matt. I can see we've had a couple of questions come in now. The first one being, is there an ongoing subscription for the web/app access features?
So My2N, which is what I think you're talking about, is our app that we have on the phones that runs through a secure server. So unlike other companies where they give away free applications and don't guarantee security, and also use a push server as opposed to something more secure, and also you have to do things like port forward and things like that, there is a subscription fee for using My2N, and that's €2 per month per mobile phone connected to it. It used to be where you would actually have to pay for the intercom as well as that mobile phone. So if I use my place for an example, me and my daughter, we both have a mobile phone. We have one intercom in the house, so we pay 3 licenses a month, which would normally be €6, but now it's gone down to 4. We do some device credits as well, or apartment credits as well. So if you are working on some of the MDUs, and when we say MDUs, we mean sort of flats above sort of 50 units really. I mean, the average we generally tend to do is about 400 units in some of the bigger locations, but we do offer help on that as well. Awful lot of training available on that on the My2N, or the information on the My2N website, which is www.my2n.com. Does that answer your question? Do you have another question, Gavin?
Thank you, Richard. We have, yeah. Will these work with third-party kits such as IP telephone systems? I can answer that one.
Yeah, I think the important thing to say, Gavin, is that they'll actually work with any SIP telephone system. Now, there are 2 ways to do this, really. Some customers will decide to go peer-to-peer, which essentially is SIP trunk calling, which means going straight from the intercom to an IP phone, so like a Grandstream or a Yealink, which is something that ProVu sell as well. Now, yes, you can make a call on those sorts of devices, as well as or mixed in place of our answer units as well. A lot of people tend to sort of go for the indoor views and sort of residential kind of applications, and then when it comes to businesses, they'll go through to the IP phones. Now, one of the massive strengths of 2N, with us coming from the comms background as opposed to security, is that we do have a lot of integration, which has been pre-done with most of the IPPBXs that are out there. We also do hosted communications and calls too. So for more of a check on what systems we can work with, there is a note and a list on the wiki pages. Gavin would be, and the team at ProVu would be certainly in the position to help you out and offer the right information.
Absolutely, yeah. And we also sell quite a lot of phones, so we've tested these all extensively with a number of platforms as well.
Any more questions?
I do have one on here as well. Can the Access Commander integrate with a payroll system, i.e. for clocking in and out?
Which payroll system will we be talking about?
They haven't actually said, although I believe that it can integrate into most, if not all, can't it?
It depends on what the actual database structure is of the payroll system. If it's something like Sage, there's a bit more to it than just that. But if it's something like some of the other time and attendance kind of situations, then yeah, we've got companies that are using that for time and attendance. Essentially, most people tend to use this sort of thing for fire roll calling, things like that, or occupancy in buildings, limited occupancy in buildings, helping with COVID legislation, that sort of stuff. But yeah, if you let us know a little bit more about which specific one you want to work on, rather than just giving a generic answer, that's probably the best and the most professional answer to give.
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea. Will the links and information be available after the presentation? Yes, this webinar is being recorded, so you will all receive a recording shortly. I believe it goes out the day after, so that should be tomorrow morning. And yes, any information that you need, any links, we can provide those for you.
Any more questions there, Gav?
I can't see any on here, no. If anyone does have any questions after the event, as I say, you have both of our email addresses here, so we can answer those questions for you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for everybody attending this morning, and thanks for choosing 2M.
Yes, thank you for joining me, Matt, and thank you everyone for coming.
Goodbye for now.